Welcome to the Tradies in Business podcast with your hosts Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Divert your phone and grab a brew as Waz and Nick unpack tips, tales, secrets and stuff-ups from guests both inside and outside your trade, helping educate and inspire you to break the cycle of gut-busting and money stress and create a true trade business.
Are you going to answer it or should I answer it?
No, you answer it. I'm not answering it.
Hang on. Oh, it went away. Damn it. I'll have to ring him back.
Oh, when are you going to ring him back, though? I mean, you know.
Oh,
you can
should
do it
see
after
the number of
work.
messages I've got here. Voicemails and missed calls. I'll just have to do it in between jobs.
Yeah, but I find that in between jobs, I'm busy doing something else or putting out a fire, and then I know before I know it, I'm doing it at night, and nobody really wants to talk to me at night, and then everyone's cranky with me at home.
It's a bit of an issue, isn't it, Coxie?
It is an
All
issue.
this, phone ringing, how do you ever keep up with it all and keep up with all the calls? Okay, so I'm going to stop calling you because you're clearly not going to answer the phone. Hello, listeners. How are you today?
Hello, listeners. Happy Sunday.
Happy
Did that
Sunday.
just raise your stress levels through the roof? All these ringing phones
The
on a
sound of
Sunday
a
morning?
ringing phone. It's like, I get that all week. And
Yes.
Coxie, this is weird because I'm talking to you not on Sunday. So I know that right now, as the listeners are wondering about this episode, you are currently not giving a toss about much at all because you're on your road trip.
I am. I'm in Harvey Bay where it's warm and sunny. I'm sipping a coffee on the beach. Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. But we're going to talk ringing phones this morning because I know you're not going to answer your phone on Sunday if I try and call you. Be like, Warwick, unless Facebook want to give us lots of money, I don't want to hear from you.
It will wait until Monday.
Yes. And that is, I suppose that's the simple answer that we give a lot of people is just don't answer the phone. Like the common complaint from trade business owners is the phone calls, the phone ringing, the clients, the staff that call, the subbies that call, the wife that calls, the husband that calls. It's like, but if I don't answer the phone, then I've got to ring them back later. And if I don't answer the phone, they'll be shitty because I didn't answer the phone. It's like, yeah, but the answer is not to answer the phone. The answer is different. It's a question, and it's who else could answer the phone? How else could you deal with those calls?
It's a big question, but it's a equally revolutionizing answer. In our business, and you know this, we've spoken about this many times, the builder couldn't work because the phone would ring far too often. He couldn't get the work done. And he had this fear about not being the person to answer the phone. I understand that. We talk to tradies all the time that feel the same. It feels like giving away some control almost. Until he was sick, and we had to wait until he was sick for this to change. He got that sick, he was bedridden for a couple of weeks and actually physically couldn't answer the phone. So I had to answer the phone, and it might be the single best thing we ever did for the business, or at the very least for his mindset, because he wasn't constantly answering the phone and putting out the fires. What happened was I kept his phone. He never got it back. He got a new phone with a new number that only I had the number for, and the leading hand had the number for, and that was pretty well it. So if the phone was ringing, he knew he needed to answer it because it was a legitimate concern rather than any number of those millions of phone calls that we all get as business owners every day. So for us, it meant a couple of things. Firstly, it meant I could actually really impact the business in so many ways by firstly screening those calls, only passing them on if they were absolutely necessary, or booking in a call time for the builder to call a client back or to call a subby back if necessary. It also meant that our subbies needed to get better at solving their own problems because they knew they didn't have direct access to the person who could solve them for them.
Yeah.
They had to figure it out themselves. And I can't even explain to you how different that made their working day, and then of course our working day, it meant that they had to solve problems on the fly. I was paying them a premium. They were meant to be solving problems, but we get stuck in this mindset, oh, I've got to ask the boss, I've got to check with the boss. Well, no, actually, in our case, I didn't need them to. They had the equipment, they had the know-how, they had the nous to make those decisions themselves. We didn't need to answer the phone to those. So they wouldn't ring me because I didn't have the solution for them. They had to figure it out. It meant that those annoying client calls, and we all get them, the ones that we don't actually need, I could take care of those for him. He didn't need to answer those. And if it was a legitimate concern, we booked an appointment. Or if it was a supplier, my goodness, how many times a week do your suppliers call in one form or another to tell you about a new product or a new thing that doesn't mean anything to your day-to-day business? It could easily be an email. I could screen all of those for him, so he didn't actually have to take any of those. And over time, the volume of calls actually decreased, so that the calls were more people calling to talk to me because they knew I could either fix their problem, i.e. client, by booking in a consultation with myself or the builder, or there'd be a subcontractor with an issue that was too big to fix, in which I could do my best in troubleshooting or pass it on to the builder, or it was another legitimate concern. So over time, I had a real decrease in phone calls. And that's simply because we put someone in place to run block, I suppose, rather than being that person who wants to please everyone. That's a big problem for the builder and many tradies. They want to please everyone. I don't. I'd like you to be happy, but I can't make everyone happy. So I'm okay with saying no. He wasn't. So pass the phone over. Had he have not gotten sick, I don't know that it ever would have changed. Yet it's something we see our trade business owners fall into a trap with all the time. And when we help them put steps in place so that they're not that main contact for the business, holy moly, they've suddenly got time to block out to work on their sales process, or have a look at their cash flow for the next month, or do any number of other jobs that business owners should be spending their time doing.
Mm-hmm. It's sadly not until, like you say, someone can't answer the phone or is almost forced into it that they realise that the world doesn't end when they don't answer the phone. And I guess I feel like a bit of a broken record sometimes with this, Nicole, as I do with so many things. But I would say if you're listening to this episode today and that voice in your head is saying, yeah, but there is no one else who can answer it. I don't have staff. I don't have office support. If I don't answer it, I get a voicemail, and then I've got 100 things. I've got 10 people to get back to. When am I going to do that? I can't do that at 8 o'clock at night because no one will talk to me then anyway. It requires a bit more of a critical look at, well, why are you the only person in your business that is quote-unquote qualified to answer the phone? And are there other ways to actually deal with those inquiries? Maybe it's as simple as a voicemail that says, don't leave a message. Please send me a text or an email and I can reply to you quicker. Unless you want me to call you at 9 o'clock tonight, then drop me an email at this address, or go fill out our web form, or give people another option, another method of communicating with you. I'm on Facebook Messenger and I'm on Instagram. Here's our handle. Drop me a direct message and I'll get back to you in between jobs. Just think a little bit differently. And to be honest, a lot of people would probably rather communicate via text or messenger these days. But if you don't give them that option, the only thing they can do is what you've trained them to do, which is to ring the number that you've got on your bloody website or on the back of your vehicle. If your sign writing has your mobile number on it, guess what? You're just asking for trouble. And I love one of our clients, Coxie, one of our tradiepreneur clients that we're working with one-on-one, electrical business, employing his first team member, getting a lot of things set up to make that work really well, and he's getting much busier. And one of the things was phone number and getting sign writing done on vans and stuff. And to his credit, he asked the question. He's like, "So, should I get a 1300 number or a local number?" And I'm like, "That's an interesting question from him." Now we talked about what was the best decision there, but his motivation was he didn't want his mobile number anywhere. He didn't want people to be able to find it, because he knows that if he has it anywhere, people will ring him. They'll ring the business owner. They won't talk to his team member. They won't ring the office number. So sometimes we're our own worst enemy. And I know, you've talked recently about getting out of our own way, Coxie. I just think we set ourselves up to get all these calls. We don't put systems in place with our staff. We have our number advertised. It's like, stop doing those things and people won't ring you. And then there's the magical thing of just not answering the damn phone.
Can you remember we were kids, and I reckon your dad was like mine, and of an evening that phone went off the hook at 7 p.m.
Yep.
Took it off the
he'd
hook.
sit the receiver down. Yep.
Yep. Or when we're eating tea, or all day on a Sunday after we'd spoken to our interstate family, the phone would be off the hook. That thing is not ringing. We can do that. It's a little more complicated now. You have to turn your entire phone off or put it on silent, leave it in another room so you're not looking at it. But you need to take some space in your business, some time away, so that you can be productive and focus on the job at hand, rather than being consistently distracted by ring, ring, ring on your telephone.
Yeah, and it begs the question of how come that generation, it was common practice. Hang on, I just got to grab the phone. Oh no, I'll call him back later. So how come it was okay then to do that? Like, you and I both have the same experience. I bet there's a ton of people out there whose dad or mum, but particularly dads, it was like the old cradle receiver with the dial-y thing on the phone, the actual old-fashioned phone. They just sit it the other way, crossways.
Yes.
And if you tried to ring, you got doot, 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 like the engage signal.
Absolutely.
Like, oh, they must be having tea. And now it's like, no, but I have to answer the phone. It's like, why?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Says who? So you missed the job. Why are they ringing you at 6 p.m. to book a job? So there's things called technology. You can pay very little money to have a real live human answer your phone. They don't even need to be in your office or your business. They can answer as XYZ Plumbing. XYZ Plumbing, this is Warwick. Oh,
that had a nice ring to it. Well done, Woz.
I was ringing for Xavier, the plumber. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, Xavier's busy on a project with a client at the moment. Can I take a message and get him to call you back? And then I'll email Xavier a phone message with the details of the message. Can I ask what the call's about? You can pay to have that done for you. And it's not a lot of money. And it just gives you that space to actually get the work done that you need to do, the invoicing and the quotes. And then you can get back to people when it suits you.
So if you just email Warwick at tradiesandbusiness.com.au, he'll take care of that for you at a very low cost.
I'll be your phone answering service.
Did you hear how seamlessly he did that? How beautifully scripted that was?
Or I could do it more authentically. Hello?
G'day.
Who's that? Oh, plumbing. Yeah, that's us. What do you want?
Remember when he used to call somebody's house and the kids would answer the phone? That stuff just doesn't happen anymore. But once upon a time, the kids had answered the phone and it'd be, oh, hello, sweetie, is mum or dad around? Is somebody else there that I could talk to?
Yeah.
Mum, I'm in the toilet.
Yeah.
Mum,
There's someone on the phone. Meanwhile, it's grandma. She's like, Sonny, you listen to me. Anyway, enough crazy voices. You're currently road tripping around the country, although currently you're sitting in your office talking to me on a podcast so that you can road trip around the country on a Sunday. It is Sunday today as you're listening to this, listeners. And if it's not Sunday, that means you're behind in your episodes, which means you're behind in your homework, you naughty boy or girl. And you should be listening to the Daily TradieRonaCast every single day as it gets released.
And which means that you need to be messaging Warwick if it's not released at 5:23 a.m.
Now, a better thing to message us about would be what you're working on in your business and some change that you want to put in place. Maybe you want to stop answering the phone so much, but you're just not sure how to start with that change. Drop us a message. We still have some spots available for the drawing board. We've always got space for you to join the trade desk, which is still free until the end of June 2020. So Tradies for Tradies is the code. You can grab your free month for that. There are scripts in there on dealing with phone calls. We've got systems for managing staff, and we have some fantastic live coaching calls every week, some webinars from guests, expert guests that come in. So make sure you jump onto that and go and check it out. But just drop us a line, send us a message. We love to hear from you. We've had some fantastic contact with members of our tradies and business community lately about, hey, I've been listening to you talk about this, but I just don't know how to do that in my business. And let's book some time and get you unstuck. So, make sure you take responsibility for that and reach out if you need some help there. And apart from that, Coxie, I hope you're really enjoying yourself on Sunday.
I'm going to listen to this with the husband in the car on the way down. We can
G'day,
laugh. And you watch, it'll be raining, or it'll be cold or miserable, or we would have had a fight and we're both scowling at one another.
Yeah. And you'll be sitting there listening to the sound of your own voice and Woz. It's like, oh my gosh, I have to listen to Woz all week. And here I am listening to him again on a recorded episode on a Sunday.
Doesn't sound like much of a break at all, does it?
No. Enjoy your Sunday, listeners. I hope to see you in the group or the trade desk or the drawing board at some stage. And stop answering the damn phone.
Turn it off. That's my challenge to you. Switch it off today. It's Sunday. It's your day of rest in one form or another. Turn it off, please. Give yourself a break.
Hooroo.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Tradies in Business podcast with Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Find out more about today's guest, tools for your trade business, and other cool stuff at tradiesinbusiness.com.au.